Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm almost writing this song. I need 2 more bars. I need 2 more bars. I got 1 bar right there. This is a very, very simple, like small word rhyme. I'm not trying to use a lot of big syllable words in this one. I want it to be super, super catchy. Stage plan. We're going to continue on with the gravel. As you probably notice, I'm doing like brush and knife with the gravel because I want some of the deeper shades to pop out, but I do want that texture as well. And from right here, man, this shit, that gravel not looking too bad, you know. starting to really come to life and have that texture and variation in it. Can actually start seeing more like individual pebbles and stones that are in this chunky ass asphalt. So I say it's so fucking high. I feel like I need to be sitting on the floor to get this part. I don't know if I'm gonna. There's just one section here. I might just try to start here and come over. See if we can at least get to the cup. I think it'll start going a little bit faster now because the closer we get to the foreground, the bigger these pebbles are. So it seems like the less of them there are. Push further back, it's like so many smaller ones. But then also up close, the bigger they are, the more kind of detail you can see in each little rock. So I'm liking it though. I'm still trying to like keep the shadows going across as well. So this leaf right here is casting the shadow. We're gonna have to be mindful about that. And I think this leaf right, these two leaves are casting a little shadow right here as well. I like this leaf, the shadow right here. That looks nice, and it actually comes on. The shadow overlaps this leaf here, so we have a little bit of darker tone there. We making some progress. Yeah, I think after we do the gravel, I think only the next challenging part will be the main book. I think this will go pretty easy. But yeah, after this gravel, we can probably fly through the tree, get that knocked out, touch the wall a little bit, get that knocked out, and really just focus on that book. Right? Like I say, her hair will be the last thing. Detail her shoes a little bit, add a little more detail to the jeans and her plaid shirt. Yeah. The first detail layer is the heavy work. It's the underpainting is definitely a lot of the heavy work. The underpainting is the roadmap, where we're going, where's our darkest areas, where's our lightest areas. And then the first detail layer is a lot of the heavy lifting. And the second detail layer, the second and third detail layer normally goes a lot faster. So after we get this gravel detailed one time, I see we should be able to really run through a lot of the other stuff. Hopefully. That's the plan, at least. At least that's the plan. And then later today, we got to do, I'm going to do a really simple lunch. I mean, a meal prep this week. I'm not doing anything heavy at all. I'm going to do a vegetable I feel like I've been heavy on meats lately. I'm a really big meat eater, and I think that's okay. But I'm gonna do a vegetable soup this week, just all veggies, and then I have some tuna, which is a very light fish. And when you cook tuna, you normally just it's basically raw. It's like sushi. So I think I'll do a couple of tuna steaks and some salad. So I have like all veggie soup. Then I have a couple of tuna salads throughout the week, and I think to offset that, I'll do like a pizza and some BLTs. So very light work this week. We're not making any kind of intricate dishes this week. Not it's not like we normally be chefing up some grand 5-star restaurant shit anyway, but this week is definitely going to be a lot easier than normal. Like I say, the tuna, you salt and pepper that shit and sear it on each side for 2 minutes. That's done. The veggie soup, chop your vegetables up, put it in some chicken stock. That's done. Bacon and pizza, like so it ain't gonna be nothing this week. Throw some tofu in there, bacon wrapped tofu. Mm-mm. I seen somebody take some cinnamon, like some cinnamon swirls or pinwheel, like cinnamon things, like the kind the kind that you're supposed to bake at home. So they open they opened a pack of cinnamon twists and took the dough out and unwrapped one of them, and it's just like a little strip of cinnamon dough. And they took a piece of bacon and the cinnamon dough and like twist that shit together, yo. I was like, you motherfucker. Cinnamon twist bacon sticks. I might have to try that one day. I ain't real big on those. Like I will buy like the Pillsbury like biscuits and stuff like that, but I don't normally be baking like their cookies and their cinnamon. I'd just rather make that shit. You can make that stuff from scratch better than some of the stuff you you can find in a can. I've really been trying to find me a good biscuit recipe too, so I don't have to use like canned biscuits all the time. My grandma used to make her biscuits with lard, a little bit of all-purpose self-rising flour, some yeast, some lard, some salt, some buttermilk, and that was about it. A little simple recipe, but I don't know if I want to keep eating lard. Mmm, that sounds good, yo. Tuna Nicois. I like all of that. I love olives, boiled eggs. Actually, when I went shopping yesterday, I got some pickled eggs. I don't like them though. The place that I normally get them from is like on the other side of town, and I was too lazy to drive over there. And so at my local grocer, which is like 2 blocks from here, they have pickled eggs, and I always see them, but I never tried them before, and I was just like, I'll just try them, and they're not great. They're not great. I ate 2 of them. It felt like I don't even want to eat the rest of them. They're just like, what the fuck is this? All right, so I was up late last night writing this. I wrote the hook and the second verse to this song. Uh, like I said, it's just raps, just for the hell of rapping. My brain is hurting trying to come up with the last 2 bars right now. Um, the hook says, "Came back like I never left, calculated every step, marching to my own drum. Ain't no need to waste my breath. Last of a dying breed. Give a shout out to the rest. Underground like a seed, still rooting for the best. I like that last bar. Underground like a seed, still rooting for the best. Then the hook says, the verse says, rolling with my day ones, I don't need no new crew. 44, still going harder than the blue chew. Chilling like a penguin in a zoot suit. Spitting buku bars through your Bluetooth. And you lose if you choose to be a trooper like a Zuzu. Better find some blues clues. I'm who's who. Who the fuck is you? Hold up. What is I'm who's who. Who the fuck is you? New in the old school. Suno in the Pro Tools. Y'all niggas old news. Music still my go-to. Trust me, I can show you better than they told you. Ever since Super Saiyan Goku, I show proof. I'm so true. I follow no rules. I'm plugged in like a Roku. I just need 2 more bars. You lose if you choose to be a trooper like a Zuzu. A Zuzu trooper? I thought that was a good one. I love pickled onions too. I love everything pickled. Everything. If you pickle it, I probably eat that shit, yo. Kimchi, fucking sauerkraut, eggs, sausage, goddamn olives, anything that's pickled, pickles. I said onions. Uh, I be getting the marinated mushrooms. You can pickle that shit. Let me try it at least. Let me try that shit. I probably like that shit, yo. That salty vinegary shit. I'll eat the hell out of that shit, yo. Yeah, kimchi, all that shit, dog. If that shit is pickled, I'll probably eat that shit, yo. Right? Right? But as a kid, why I couldn't stand a fucking olive? Like, ew, what is that? Like the texture, like nah. None of that shit. Didn't like pickles on my hamburgers, like nah, yeah. Didn't like mustard. Only ketchup. Don't put that mustard on my shit, man. Don't put on the pickles on my shit, man. But I always like spicy shit. I always like peppers, yo. And most of the time peppers are pickled peppers. But I always like spicy shit. Hot sauce and the nature of hot sauce is pickled peppers. You know, it has a lot of vinegar in hot sauce. So yeah, over the years I remember the first time like I had a really good Reuben, but that shit changed my life. It changed my life. I'm like, this is sauerkraut. This shit is delicious. Why I ain't never why I ain't never liked sauerkraut before? I've been missing out on some shit. Give me give me a bratwurst with extra kraut on that bitch, and some mustard. Man, look, pickle the hell out that shit, bro. I'm gonna eat it. Cabbage, that's all it is. Kimchi is sauerkraut. That's all it is, bro. It's the same thing, man. It's simple veggies, bro. I had it once, and that is all. At least you tried it. I had it multiple times, dog. I done ate some pig feet, dog. I'm telling you. I can't count how many I have eaten in my life. And once I started liking pickle shit, and yo, when I was growing up, yo, it was only $1, like $1.25 or something. That was one of the most expensive items in the store, in the corner market. Cause this was, yeah, them shit was like $1.25 for the pig foot, yo. Fried. I ain't never had fried. We normally just like boil it or stew it, like chitlins. We call it chitlins where I'm from. Chitlins and hog maws. Some people say chitterlings or whatever. There's a couple of different names for that shit, but I'm telling you, bro, I'm from South Carolina, a little small town in South Carolina, and motherfuckers gonna eat an animal, and you gonna hunt for some shit that you not gonna get in your grocery store. Like most markets don't sell rabbits, but rabbits and quails and duck and turtle and squirrel and gator and that shit is just popular shit down there. Motherfucker will eat some shit, and you talking about just domesticated animals. That's why I'm so weirded out. I never heard of fucking shin, like beef shin. How come I ain't never hear nobody eating beef shin? Or not unless motherfuckers just always call it stew or whatever, because that shit just delicious as fuck, man. So I've been really, I actually bought some more. I had some in the freezer and I bought more because I keep seeing that shit in the grocery. But I love fucking beef shin and beef shank. That shit is better than like the stew cuts, whatever cuts they use for the stew. I think that shit come from like the upper shoulder. But that shit is the shank parts are that shit make a better stew to me. And then the meat, like it be like so cheap. I'm like, let me get two of them. Put that shit in my freezer. Hold me some of this meat. Gotta get that cartilage. Yo, laughing girl. But no, I try to keep my freezer stacked. Like if I see shit on sale or whatever, you never know, man. You never know. I be like I say, as of right now, like when I'm single, I just try to have at least enough food for like a couple weeks. Actually, I got in the freezer. There's enough meat in there for a while, for about a month probably. But that's always my mindset. That shit is. I've been like that. Once again, I'm from the South, yo. My grandma like grew a garden and she canned food and we froze stuff and she had a deep freezer and we once again we were hunters and stuff. So my uncle would come over with fucking ducks and uh, I know one of my older relatives. She's the only one I know. Like she was like the last holdout, but she was my grandmother's aunt. And even when I was a young kid, like she was old as hell, and she's lived on the farm. And I think like because we all come from sharecroppers, and she was like one of the last ones who just kept sharecropping and kept her land, yo. But she had hogs and cattle and goats and chickens. Like she had a fucking farm, yo. And she had mad ass like fruit trees, like a real farm. And so I remember twice we got goats from her. And in the summertime, she had like these three big ass fucking pecan trees, yo. We'll go out there and grab all the baskets and shit and set the shits underneath the pecan tree. Just climb up that bitch and start shaking them fucking nuts out. But I've always had that type of you preserve, you if you butcher an animal, you're gonna pack it and freeze it and shit like that. So I remember like when COVID happened and everybody was scrambling and shit, it was weird. Like yeah, I was straight. I was straight. If I stay with water, like right now, I probably got like 6, 7 cases of water in the house. I keep a case of water on every floor, and then I just keep extra water. I try to keep my deep freezer full. I try to keep canned goods. I try to stay stocked up. And another reason I do this too, because I hate fucking shopping. I hate being in crowds. I don't want to do that shit every fucking week. I don't want to have to go shop for tissue every other week. I'm gonna buy this shit in bulk so I don't have to shop for tissue for a couple months, or paper towel, or laundry detergent, or whatever. Because I don't need to be having the same shit on my grocery list every fucking week. The main thing I buy every week, I need to just buy fruits and vegetables and all the quick shit. Everything else, man, I'd rather be stocked up on that shit for like weeks or months at a time. A small city boy. But yeah, when COVID hit and everybody running to the store and the lines all crazy and they tell me they ain't got no tissue, man, I still got tissue from COVID. I ain't had to worry about shit. I was like, y'all don't got batteries at your house? Y'all don't just keep batteries? Y'all don't got a flashlight? Y'all don't got tissue? How come y'all ain't get you only bought one pack of tissue a week? Okay. That shit seemed so weird that so many people were unprepared for that shit. So many people were unprepared. But like I said, when I was shopping yesterday, I seen that beef shanks. Let me get 2 packs of them. The shit's only $4. I was like, $4 for all this meat. Let me get that. I need to put that in my freezer. I'm gonna eat that shit so much till I get tired of eating it, and then I'll figure out something else. I really want to finish this. I just need 2 more bars. Bro, grocery shopping be the worst, yo. There be too many people, and then most of the time they be wanting you to check out your own shit and bag your own stuff. Man, look, man, that's why I love my local grocer. It's a small family owned one, and they don't have no self checkouts. And another thing, they um all of the deli staff and the hot food staff and the butcher staff and most of the people in the back, they're all like older, seasoned, workers and employees. But like the cashiers, when you go to that store, yo, most of the cashiers are teenagers. Especially like on the in the afternoons and on the weekends, like they give any kid in this neighborhood who needs a job, I don't think they'll turn them down. Because we got like all kinds of kids who work there, all kinds of kids. And they give everybody a chance and they give everybody an opportunity for employment. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. That's fucking every time you go in that grocery store, you're gonna see some teenagers working, yo. And so don't say you can't get no job around here because they'll hire you. They will hire you. And they don't got no fucking self-checkout shit. But they are a smaller, like I say, just a smaller family grocer. So if you want everything that Walmart got, you're not gonna, you know, they ain't got everything that Walmart got. They got all the necessities though. You're gonna come out there with what you need. What time is it? We gotta start painting soon. I'm gonna have to jack this up. Let's see. Y'all niggas old news, music still my go-to. Trust me, I can show you better than they told you. Represent Super Saiyan Goku, I just show you. Every since Super Saiyan, every since Super Saiyan Goku, we're so proof, I'm so true, and it's so true, and it's so true. I follow no rules, and it's so true. I follow no rules, I'm falling like a Goku, and it's so true. I follow no rules, and it's so true. I follow no rules. Ever since Super Saiyan Goku, I never grew the soul true. I never follow no rules, so true. I never follow no rules, so true. I follow no rules, so true. He told you every since Super Saiyan Goku, every since Super Saiyan Goku, I showed you the soldier, I followed no rules, and the soldier, I followed no rules, and the soldier, I followed no rules, I'm plugged in, and the soldier, I followed no rules, and the soldier, I followed no rules, so I followed no rules, and the soldier, I followed no rules. And when like Gollum from The Hobbit, bro. I don't know, like the one thing I did, sometimes I do be feeling like a little weird because there was a new, like I shop at my local grocery a lot. It's really close. I can throw a fucking stone and hit that shit. But there's a new young guy bagging groceries yesterday, and I'm watching him. He moving a little slow. I guess, like I said, he's new, and I'm thinking in my head, hurry the fuck up, young man. I got video games to go play, but I don't want to say that shit out loud. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to be patient with the new bag boy. But this motherfucker, I bought beef bacon, and he looked at that pack of bacon way too fucking long for he put it in the bag, yo. And I'm like, am I strange for buying beef bacon? Sir, have you not heard of beef bacon? Like, what the fuck is you examining my groceries for? But he looked at that shit, then he flipped it, and he looked at it again, then he kind of like rubbed it, and he put it in the bag. What the fuck was all of that? You found up my bacon a little bit there, buddy. What you doing? I ain't understanding. The beef bacon had that man confused. I swear on everything I love, I saw it. I was watching because what made me question, like, all my groceries are on the cart. I mean, on the line belt thingy, and the cart is up next to him, and it's one of those spinny baggers, and like he's just constantly spinning the fucking bags around instead of putting the shit in the goddamn thing. Put this shit in the buggy, man. I'm not about to run out with this shit, bro. You wasting time. You wasting time. And that's when I noticed he was moving slow and playing with my bacon. I wonder if he played with some of my other groceries and I ain't noticed it before then. Because I did buy some octopus and something else. He probably thought that shit was weird. Not retarded. Yeah, I mean, entertainment purposes only. Because we can say retarded now. But I ain't gonna say he was retarded. You know what I'm saying? He was moving slow, is what I'm saying. Like Shawshank Redemption, okay, begging people's shoppers. I don't. You know what? I don't think I ever saw that movie, yo. You need to work faster. He was like, he looked at the bacon for a second, bro, for a couple seconds. I I ain't know they make beef bacon. I don't know what he was thinking, but definition of retarded. He probably a little retarded. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I ain't gonna lie. He had a look on his face that blink. Whoa, buddy. You know what? I ain't make no coffee this morning. I got this out some water. I got this gray right here too, Payne's gray. I don't ever use this a lot because I can just make gray, but I'm gonna just play with this just on the in the foreground on some of these. I'm gonna just see what this does actually. I had this shit for years and barely ever used this shit. Look at that. I want to put a little green on here too, some really dark green. Okay, that's I think that's the song. So I needed two more bars. Like I said, I really tried to write this verse last night and got stuck. Before I went to bed, I only wrote 8 bars before I went to bed. And then I woke up for a bathroom break like 2 this morning. And then I wrote another 6 bars. And that's why I couldn't get back up this morning. Because I was already up at I was up from like 2 to 4. And I couldn't fall right back to sleep. So I was like, let me turn this beat on. And I did squeeze out a couple more bars and I wound up smoking like early in the morning. And I could not get up. I could not get back up. And then, so yeah, we got 16 bars now. The last 2 bars this is just some rappy raps. Don't hold me to this shit, man. Don't be picking at me for my song. It's so true. I follow no rules. I'm plugged in like a Roku. Hand to hand, do it like the pros do. You acting like a kid, I'ma scold you. Give you a good scolding. And that's it. That's the last few bars. I think it'll sound smooth on the beat or whatever. Just a rappy rap. Very very small words, short syllables, something catchy, kind of easy to easy to go along with. Um, but we did get some cool pop culture shit in there. I actually said Suno, um, Super Saiyan, and Goku. Like Dragon Ball Z will always be pop culture. Then I mentioned Roku, which is another still kind of popular product out right now. So there's like some current uh, pop culture terms in there. Um, the two verses are very different. The first verse is a lot more like complicated. It's still just rappy rap, but I don't know. We'll see how they both fit together. We'll see. All right, that's it, guys. I'm out of here. Appreciate y'all company today. Like that nigga wrote 2 bars. He wrote 2 bars and thought he was done. We'll type that up later. Well, we'll go over it a couple times and see if we need to add add some syllables or take something out. I don't know why my eyes are so itchy. Ah, what the fuck, man? I need to wake up. Wake up. Mm, I don't know if I want to keep listening to this Trump Zelensky argument thing right now, but that's like it seems like that's the only thing people are talking about. Fuck, dude. Um, I don't know. I don't know. What do you want to listen to here? Let me see. Is there anything? No, my entire YouTube is Trump right now.
Furnace will be replaced with a new 96% efficient furnace. We will disconnect all of the old electrical and gas connections to the old furnace and remove the old unit. We will install the new unit with a new filter rack and a new...
Somebody posted that on Facebook. Yo, they look real as shit. Yo, Zelensky knocked Trump out. Yo. Yo, I was like, what the hell?
Microsoft have just announced the Majorana 1 chip, the world's first topological qubit, and it's gotten kind of a lot of attention. But unlike normal quantum computers, Microsoft chip doesn't use the quantum states of localized atoms, ions, or photons. It stores quantum information across a surface or topology, making it resilient to the noise that currently limits quantum computation and potentially finally giving us a viable, scalable way to realize a quantum computer. And it's kind of going to be a wild video when I have to start with in normal quantum computers. As part of this breakthrough announcement,
I mean, this is what needs to happen. Like, Europe needs to unite, and yeah, all the European leaders need to welcome him, because America's not the one no more. And so, hey, as they should. Hey man, stick together, guys. Stick together, guys. I like that. They're like, oh, fuck Trump in the U.S. Thank you. I might get fucking banned for that shit. That one of my buddies posted that shit. I'm like, and see, I can still laugh at. I put the laughing emoji up there on that, and I don't have to like. I didn't. I just laugh. I just laughed at it. That shit looks funny as hell, and I don't have to make some comment like, "Oh, how dare you disrespect the sitting president, the leader of the free world, blah 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 blah, this and that." Like, it's a fucking meme. It's a spoofy ass AI meme, and it's pretty good actually. That shit, like, it looks pretty good. I'm like, damn, the technology is I love it. I love the technology. That shit is wild. But I'm not trying to block him or ban him or report him or once again make some long ass dissertation underneath his funny Trump meme. But when I be posting stuff, people are just like, he's a fucking racist. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, guys. All right. I get it. I get it. I get it. You know what? I understand. This is the only thing I really understand. We're just not all on the same page. And that's okay. That's okay. Can we just agree to can we move this thing forward somehow? Can we just keep moving forward somehow? You know? YouTube is kind of crappy right now. This is why, see, I be hating to bore y'all with this shit, but this is why I just watch gamers, honestly. I would put on an instrumental, but I know that would distract me from pain because I'll be trying to fucking write another song. We don't need to do that right now. What we need to do right now is paint. We need to paint this goddamn rock.
The seal has shattered. The curse awakens. Where is the power of John?
All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back. I hope everybody's having a good day today. We're back with some more humanity. Last episode, we obviously went out, we hit the big city, we got some medical burns.
Major organs were missing. The bodies were drained of blood. Something was terrorizing the continent. But on a remote Brazilian island called Calais,
might have
the
to
pattern
reset the
changed.
stream, guys. You already know. We're gonna try to do
Three
it
things
slow
made the
and
Calais
slow and
animal
slow,
attacks
but
unique.
this thing don't
One,
like to
there
get
were
moved around.
witnesses. Two, there were pictures. And three, the animals were people.
For 2 weeks now.
Yeah, Walter and I are wasn't buddies.
Yeah, human.
What's going on now?
She's gone. I just packed up a hump and took off out east. My heart is shattered into a million tiny fish flakes.
Gertie? She went to see her parents. She'll be back in a week.
That's a lifetime in camel years. What if she forgets me? What if she meets some rich Bactrian camel with 2 humps?
Why don't you have Doris get into a fully realized video? And clone your voice, allowing all your videos to be narrated.
Wait a minute.
You in the director's seat, letting you focus on your vision while it does the heavy lifting. Simply start by typing a prompt or choosing a workflow that matches the type of video you want to create. Select Use Only AI Clips to ensure your video has all the generative AI footage.
I've heard this
will
one in
directly
video.
give you the first cut of your video in a few minutes. From there, you can fine-tune your video using simple text-based commands in the edit command box. Just type in what you'd like to change. No need to deal with a traditional video timeline. Plus, you can even clone your voice, allowing all your videos to be narrated by, well, you. Try NVIDIA AI now for free. It'll save you hundreds of dollars that you normally spend on editing, animation, and production costs. Bring your ideas to life with NVIDIA AI.
This is perfect. The music, the beauty, the subtle dominance.
Subtle dominance?
Gertie's a confident camel. You think she's just gonna let any guy ride her?
That's what I need to look into. Get me a voice cloner for my music.
Dr. Walaide Carvalho stared at the burns on her patient's chest. Perfect circles, burned tissue. Inside each circle, puncture marks grouped together like needle holes. After 6 months as Kaladi's only doctor, Carvalho knew what to expect on an island of 2,000 people. Farming accidents, fishing injuries, colds. Animal bites were the most exotic cases she treated. She wasn't prepared for any of this.
More UFOs in Brazil?
Oh yeah, Brazil has a lot of UFO activity, maybe even more than the US.
Yeah, I guess there's more to Brazil than just barbecue and bikini waxes.
There is.
And booties.
Okay. The fishermen saw them first, bright objects shooting in and out of Morava Bay without disturbing the water. They raced across the sky and disappeared into the jungle. Local pilots saw them too. Their instruments failed whenever the objects appeared. Some described cylinders, others saw cones or discs. All were bright. Within weeks, more UFOs appeared. At first, just sightings. Then the phenomenon became more interactive. The UFOs waged an all-out assault on the island. Dr. Carvalho's 40th patient lay before her. All victims had similar injuries: burns, incisions, punctures. Most were women. Most attacks happened at night. Their stories sounded crazy, but were identical. It always started with the ceiling glowing orange. One victim described it like a cigar held to paper. The light intensified. Then a hole opened in the ceiling. Victims could see stars through it.
The alien ray guns burned through the roof?
No, people said the ceiling started to shimmer, and then they could see through the opening, but it was wavy, like looking through water.
Ah, phase-shifting technology.
Probably. Next, colored lights would hit parts of their body, usually the left side of their chest. Then, paralysis. Complete immobility. They couldn't even scream. They felt blood being drained from their bodies. They gave the lights a name. Chupa Chupa. Bloodsuckers. When people told Dr. Carvalho they felt blood being sucked from their bodies by beams of light, she dismissed it as trauma. But blood tests confirmed it. Every victim had low blood counts, even without traces of bleeding. Whoever was doing this wasn't using any medical tool Dr. Carvalho recognized. She took patients to Belém, a city 2 hours away. Doctors there were equally baffled. The burns appeared in seconds, but took weeks to heal. Brain scans showed unusual activity patterns no one could explain. Half the residents fled the island. Those who stayed lit bonfires. They set off fireworks.
Bonfires and fireworks? Oh, they were celebrating the arrival of the new alien overlords.
No, they were trying to scare them off.
Yeah, if you can shoot laser beams through invisible roof holes, you're probably not going to flinch at a few bottle rockets or Roman candles.
The lights weren't afraid. They even shot at them with hunting rifles. Nothing worked. After treating strange injuries all night, Dr. Carvalho got a call from Belém. 2 of her patients had died. Official cause? Unknown. She begged local authorities for help, but they were overwhelmed. Police increased patrols. The lights kept coming. The island transformed into a prison of fear. Fishermen refused to go out. Farmers abandoned their fields. The economy collapsed.
Yeah, you know, It is hard in the economy when people can't go to work.
It is.
Well, at least on this island they chose to stay home. March 5th, the government forced you to close your business. Devastating.
Okay, I see what you...
Imagine what would happen to the economy if they shut it down for 2 years. Ooh, Mama, that would be devastating and unconstitutional.
Now is not the
2
time.
weeks to flatten the curve my dorsal fin.
You got that out of your system?
Sorry. I got triggered. Go ahead. What happened next?
The mayor finally called the Air Force. His island was under attack. People were hurt. 2 were dead. He was put on hold, and a different voice picked up. He asked if victims had experienced blood loss or tissue damage like burns or punctures. When the mayor confirmed, they promised to send investigators. The mayor exploded. He didn't want investigators. He wanted fighter jets, missiles. He wanted these things destroyed. The Air Force officer was not surprised at the mayor's description. He had heard it all before. A special unit arrived the next day, except they didn't bring weapons. They brought cameras.
There's something special about building our empires together, side by side.
As we traded stickers and celebrated each shutdown, I realized it wasn't
Shut
just a game.
the fuck up.
Captain Olanda's Air Force team arrived with sophisticated equipment, telescopes, infrared sensors, high-speed cameras. They set up observation posts along the beach, working rotating shifts to document every incident. The military told local media this was a routine investigation. The talk of UFOs were rumors. There were no flying saucers. The lights were probably birds or planes.
Satellites, weather balloons, swamp gas.
Right. The Air Force said they weren't looking for UFOs. They were just there to secure the island. But if they weren't looking for UFOs, why did they call this Operation Prato? Prato is a Portuguese word for plate, or dish, or saucer. Olanda's orders were to debunk the story. Simple mass hysteria, he thought. Poor farmers and fishermen were seeing satellites or birds.
Oh, yeah, you gotta watch out for the laser beam shooting vampire birds in Brazil. They're very crafty.
Olanda didn't know. The people in Colares were poor and unsophisticated. This was probably a local legend being blown out of proportion. But then Olanda's team saw the lights. Night after night, objects performed impossible maneuvers. Olanda was an experienced pilot. He knew what planes could do. These weren't planes. The lights hovered silently, then accelerated faster than any aircraft he'd ever seen. They tracked objects diving into Marajo Bay at high speed, making no splash, leaving no wake. Minutes later, the same object would appear over the jungle behind them. The team began to recognize patterns. The objects went from the water to the jungle, then to the villages. These lights were operated by something intelligent. The attacks continued. Olanda saw it with his own eyes. Women would try to hide, but the light followed them. Once hit, they were paralyzed. While the village was under attack, other lights hovered over Olanda's team. He felt like they were being watched or guarded. He tested his theory and moved their camp. The lights followed. As weeks passed, the evidence mounted. The team documented electromagnetic interference whenever the objects appeared. Their compasses spun wildly. Radio equipment failed. Even the military's sophisticated tracking devices malfunctioned. This was not mass hysteria. This was real. After 4 months, Operation Saucer had assembled over 2,000 pages of documents and scientific data. Captain Olanda believed they were close to understanding the phenomenon. The team mapped the lights' patterns, documented their capabilities, and even predicted their appearances with increasing accuracy. But these were still just lights. Not a single member of the team ever saw a solid craft. They took hundreds of photos and shot 16 hours of film, but the results were frustrating. Distant red and yellow spheres. Most frames were overexposed and useless. When Olanda sent his reports to Regional Air Command, he told the truth. Something strange was happening in Colares. He just couldn't prove it. The Air Force was not going to respond to lights in the sky, not in 1977. This was the height of Operation Condor. The Brazilian military had to be careful. The CIA was everywhere.
Hold on. You just took a hard left turn, and this boat doesn't have an ocean handle. What do American spooks have to do with this?
Operation Condor was a secret alliance of military dictatorships in South America designed to crush political opposition. Brazil's government was deep in it. They were sharing intelligence with Argentina, Chile, and Paraguay. They worked together on covert operations like coups and assassinations, all paid for by
The CIA.
Right. The lights might be a classified American operation.
Oh, you mean like flying drones around military bases and pretending you don't know what they are?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Uh-huh.
If the Brazilian Air Force got an
Yo,
American asset and
Hucklefish
disrupted
has no
CIA,
chill, yo.
the consequences would be
No
severe.
chill.
Hollande needed hard evidence. He had nothing, just hundreds of images of pure white. One night he was sitting in his office going through photos, frustrated. He knew there had to be something there, but whatever it was, the camera couldn't see it. Then Hollande looked at the flashlight on his desk, then back at the white photo, then back at the flashlight. Captain Hollande had an idea.
Hey, Earl. Hey, Bill. Crypto wasn't for him.
Captain Hollande's team had sophisticated cameras, night vision devices, and state-of-the-art telescopes. Over 4 months, they documented every strange light and unexplained object. But capturing proof was harder than they expected. The team shot over 500 photographs and 16 hours of film. Some showed only lights, distant, blurry spheres of red and yellow. Most frames were completely blown out, pure white. As Captain Hollande examined one of these pictures, he saw the flashlight on his desk and had an idea. What if, instead of examining the finished photograph, he examined the negative? He thought about how doctors hold x-rays up to a lighted board. He tried the same technique. He enlarged the negatives, which looked pure black, but they weren't. When Hollande held them up to a light, he saw the faint outline of an object. Captain Hollande asked Milton Mendonça to join the team. Mendonça was a filmmaker and photographer, but he was also a sergeant and a trusted friend. Mendonça brought special ultraviolet film and showed the team a new technique. Instead of trying to photograph the lights directly, they focused on capturing the solid shapes hidden within them. It worked. The new photos revealed cylindrical objects with black bands along their hulls. Some were over 300 feet long, bigger than a 747. The objects moved in formation, even when diving into Marajo Bay, always without making a sound. The cameras also caught smaller probes being released from what the team called motherships. These probes would return to the larger craft after conducting what seemed to be surveillance missions. By December 1977, the team had documented enough evidence to prove these objects were real. Captain Hollande sent the evidence to Regional Air Command. He immediately received a call from a brigadier general with new orders. Surrender all photos, footage, and documents. All findings and reports were to be classified. Shut everything down. The team was surprised. They were finally making progress, but Captain Hollande followed orders. They packed up camp and returned to base. Operation Saucer was over. Hollande believed the Brazilian government shut them down because they didn't want them to find out who or what was controlling the UFOs. But it was too late. Captain Hollande already knew. Soon after the military left Colades, the UFO encounters ended. The Air Force's official statement, nothing extraordinary was found. Back in Colades, the story faded into local legend. But in 1996, Brazil made headlines with another UFO incident in Varginha.
Vagina episode down in your probe canal.
Varginha.
What I said.
The public wanted answers. For 20 years, Captain Hollande kept silent about Colades. Then in 1997, now a retired lieutenant colonel, he decided the truth had to come out. For 2 days, Hollande spoke with A.J. Javert of Brazilian UFO magazine. His memory was sharp, but something had changed in the captain. The confident military commander was gone, replaced by a man haunted by what he'd seen. He described 3 encounters with the objects. The first happened during a routine night watch. A light appeared over Marajo Bay, performing impossible maneuvers. The object was cylindrical, about 100 meters long, and made a strange hum.
Essa planta fazendo barulho de barulho de ar, ela vai bem mais forte, vai ser planta tudo. Aquele barulho de turbina. Não era barulho de jato, era barulho de uma coisa girando, uma coisa.
The second encounter occurred on the beach. A craft appeared directly above his team.
Ela veio concorrendo a lateral, a margem do rio oposta do lado. Ela vem acompanhando, e a gente vê, olha ali. Olha lá, e veio, quando chegou na direção da ilha, ela entrou na direção do Belém. Mas está muito baixo. Na altura das árvores, ele passou a copa das árvores. Mas uma luz muito grande, um troço enorme.
The object was close enough that Olanda could see it wasn't made of any material he recognized. The surface seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. At this point, Olanda realized the objects were aware of them and were being operated by an intelligence.
Eles parecia que eles tinham absoluta certeza de nós estávamos. Eles não procuravam. Eles estavam em cima da gente. Depois de algum tempo que nós estivemos lá, vamos dizer, depois de um mês, as coisas eram em cima da equipe. Eles já estavam em cima da gente, eles sabiam o que a gente estava fazendo. Você podia se deslocar, você estava aqui e ia para outro lugar. Lá que eles, como se eles tivessem conhecimento da orientação, sabiam com segurança onde estava.
Operation Saucer lasted 4 months. During this time, Olanda sometimes went home to see his family. During one of these visits, in his own home, he had a life-changing incident. Late one night, he was in bed when he heard a crack, like an electrical power surge.
Teve algum problema ali, aquele talo muito grande, muito forte. E no mesmo momento em que iluminou o quarto.
After the flash of light, Olanda found himself standing up, paralyzed with fear. He felt a presence behind him.
Tinha ser atrás de mim, me abraçando, até numa situação meio esquisita. O cara me abraçando por trás, eu não gostei muito da história.
Uh-oh, did he get probed?
Not exactly.
That is not a good answer to that question.
While Olanda was restrained, he saw another being at the end of his bed. It was just under 5 feet tall and dressed in a suit that reminded him of an astronaut or a diver. He didn't see its face, only a gray mask.
Eu estava muito assustado. E aquele bicho estava me abraçando. Me abraçou, me apertou e falou no meu ouvido em português.
No, this isn't going to turn into alien erotica like from a Chino story alley, is it?
Will you let the man speak?
Yeah, I'm not judging, I'm just asking.
Metalizada, né? Metalizada, uma voz atenta. Falando no meu ouvido, calma. Não vão te fazer nenhum mal.
Another crack, another flash of light, and it was over. His wife slept through the whole thing. Olanda thought it was a dream. But the next day, driving back to the operation, his forearm felt itchy. He noticed it was red.
Implant.
Yep. During his interview, Olanda rolled up his sleeve and pressed his forearm. But just weeks after giving this interview, before the article was even published, he was found dead in his apartment. He apparently hung himself using the belt on his back.
Yeah.
This is usually the part of the story where I debunk what I can. But with Claudius, there's nothing to debunk. Now, maybe the attacks weren't from UFOs, but the fact is, it happened. And then it happened again. In 2014, another string of UFO attacks hit Brazil. This time, indigenous tribes deep in the Amazon. The same light beams, the same injuries. The methodical nature of these attacks suggests something calculated, not random encounters. These beings are on mission. We just don't know what mission. Some scientists worry they're testing our defenses and technology. Now, if that's true, we might want to keep it quiet. Stephen Hawking warned that an advanced civilization might view us like Europeans viewed Native Americans, primitives to be conquered or eliminated. Physicist David Brin suggested any civilization capable of interstellar travel would see emerging technological species as future rivals. Better to eliminate them early. This became known as the Dark Forest Hypothesis, named after Leo Cixin's 3-body problem books.
Oh, I didn't know that's where. So I started watching that TV show, 3 Problem Body, and it's based on this Chinese author's stories. But I've already heard of the Dark Forest theory. I didn't know that's where it came from, though. Where it's like people question.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
No, stop. Like people question the Fermi paradox, which Fermi put forth. If space is vast and endless, and we know that other stars can hold planetary systems very similar to ours, then why don't we see other civilizations concurrent with ours right now at this very moment? Either a little less primitive than we are, or if they just got like a million years advanced in like evolution than we have, then they would be a million years farther along. And so why don't we see these other intelligent civilizations in the cosmos? And Fermi put forth the Great Barriers to becoming a technological civilization, and then becoming a spacefaring civilization. It seems to be extremely difficult. But then there's the dark forest theory that says that, you know what, there are probably other civilizations out there right now that do have the technology for galactic or intergalactic travel, but they don't want to be seen. It's a dark forest, and everybody is a fucking hunter. You're either the hunter or the prey. In both situations, you don't want to be seen. Because when you get to a certain point and you start to edge out into the universe, you realize that there are other civilizations who may want your resources, or who may want your technology or your DNA or whatever, and they don't want you to take their shit. And so it's like, it's an automatic war as soon as it's on. So instead of always trying to find people and invite people to you, they're like, nah, we'll just creep around this motherfucker quietly and never let anybody know of our existence so that they don't make us extinct. And I think that's basically the dark forest theory.
The universe is a dark forest. Every civilization is an armed hunter stalking through the trees like a ghost, gently pushing aside branches that block the path and trying to tread without sound. Even breathing is done with care. The hunter has to be careful because everywhere in the forest are stealthy hunters like him.
Every civilization hides in the shadows facing the same problem. They don't know who else is out there, but they know two things. Resources are limited, and technology grows exponentially. Any civilization discovered today could become a threat tomorrow.
If he finds other life, another hunter, an angel or a demon, a delicate infant or a tottering old man, a fairy or a demigod, there's only one thing he can do: open fire and eliminate them. In this forest, hell is other people, an eternal threat that any life that exposes its own existence will be swiftly wiped out. This is the picture of cosmic civilization. It's the explanation of the Fermi paradox.
The Fermi paradox asks, if billions of advanced civilizations should exist, where is everybody? The answer, they're hiding. The moment you reveal yourself, you become a target. Not because advanced civilizations are evil, but because they can't risk letting potential competitors emerge. We don't know what these UFOs want, and given their technology, they could destroy us easily, but haven't. Does that mean they're friendly? Not necessarily. Maybe they just don't care. We're not a threat. Like the aliens in the three-body problem. They may think of us as bugs. And like bugs, we can be annoying, but we're not really dangerous. But what happens when wasps build a nest in your attic and start stinging your children? You call an exterminator. Our radio waves, space programs, and attempts at alien contact are like lighting a flare in a dark forest. They might lead to a new alien race making first contact, a race that will do more than experiment on a small number of people. Our government may have technology that aliens would view as threatening, and if it exists, it might be better to keep it a secret. But the decision shouldn't be up to the military alone. The military's job is to destroy things and kill people, and that's what they do. The military is necessary. But we need to show humanity is capable of more than destruction. We need civilians involved, scientists, philosophers, theologians. We need our brightest minds and our most empathetic souls, people who represent the best of us. Because when first contact is finally made, it'll either be the greatest achievement of the human race or the end of it. We need to make this decision now, and let's not get it wrong.
Yeah, because Stephen Hawking even said, if there is other life out there, we may not want to meet these motherfuckers. Honestly, if there is something else out there that's intelligent and it can travel through the stars, and we can't, maybe we don't want to meet. We don't want to meet those things. You know, might not be the best course of action. I want aliens to be real. Yeah, I know. It's yeah. But then at the same time, I don't know. Like, are they already here? Have they already been here? Are they the ones that seeded life on this planet? Are they coming back? Are we just like sometimes I feel like we're actually an ant farm. No Velcro needed. I feel like we're an ant farm sometimes. Like we're really just a little colony experiment that some greater civilization is just like, they're probably hiding this planet from a lot of other people. And they got their little workers on there, and then they go back to all the big players in the solar system, and they be like, yo, where y'all always getting all that gold and stuff from, man? Where y'all be getting that stuff from? They be like, you know, I just be finding little secret spots, and you know, whatever. And then their secret spot is Earth. And they don't want to tell nobody else that they got a whole colony of goddamn proto whatever they are. We're not, you know. I got these little things. I call them humans. You know, they kind of smart too. They've been making little satellites and shit lately, man. This shit is crazy, bro. You should check them out. I call them humans. They think I'm their guy or whatever. You know, it's funny. But I won't be telling everybody about this though, because then you know everybody gonna want to come here and fuck up my little experiment. Talking about it's unethical and all this other shit. Man, they just humans, man. They don't know no better. Look, I can squash them right now. Watch, look. See? Motherfucker don't even feel nothing. No, I got like billions of them now. Billions of humans on my planet. I don't know, man. I'm always torn between they are here and they're not here. Those orbs and shit we be seeing, I don't know if those are aliens. That's the thing I be thinking about sometimes. I think there's like this different realm, or kind of like Wakanda. You know, like Wakanda is a whole nation, but it's hidden behind this veil, and you can't see it from the outside. What if that shit is real, yo? And that's where all the orbs come from. What if something like that is real? And then in that last Wakanda Black Panther movie, he was fighting dude from under the sea, right? And the dude was like some merman or something from under the sea, and they had like this whole underwater thing, and that's where the orbs be coming from, under the water, flying in the sky. I'm just saying, I think there's something to that. So what if, once again, not alien, but part of a different civilization that's already here on Earth that just told the humans like we gotta share this planet, but we don't really fuck with y'all like that. So y'all do y'all thing and we'll do our thing, man. And y'all niggas slow and retarded anyway, because we got the better technology, but we can't share this shit with y'all. But where do you guys live? We live everywhere, man. We live in the ocean. We live underground, you know what I'm saying? We live in the center of the earth. We live out past the ice wall. We live everywhere. They live everywhere. Everywhere you can live is where they live at. And maybe it is one of those lost civilizations like the Olmecs or the Atlanteans or somebody. You know? The War of the Gods. And one set of gods was like, you know what? Yeah, we're not gonna do all this. We just gonna fracture off and do our own thing, you know. And if y'all want to run this world like that, man, and cause all this chaos and mayhem, have at it, and we'll just slouch off into the shadows and mind our own manners. Kind of like if you another good one is Attack on Titan, where those people were actually punished and banished to the island, but they only thought like, hey, that's all it is. This is it. This is our world. When no, in actuality, no, there's a lot more advanced technology out there. Way more advanced stuff. And you guys are living in the olden times because you don't know no better. The Village by M. Night Shyamalan. I never saw that movie, but the premise of it is, I think the premise is the same thing where it's just a bloodline of people or a group of people who just don't want to be a part of society. And they tell all their lineage, hey, there's beasts and monsters out there, and that's why we don't leave our village. And everything we need is here. And the outside world is scorched and haunted, and it's very bad. It'll be very bad for you if you were to ever leave here. So I think there may have been an advanced civilization that just kind of like, yeah, we'll just go do our own shit. And every once in a while, they just pop up in their little flying orbs out the ocean and shit. Like, yo, check on these motherfuckers, see what they doing. Ah, nah, they still fighting wars and shit with nukes. Well, make sure they don't set them nukes off because we still here on this planet too. So anytime y'all see them getting rowdy with them nukes, man, make sure go knock that shit down. We can't have that. They don't know no better. Mm. Man, if somebody don't come help me paint these damn rocks, what the fuck? Broski, please. I beg of you. Please. Someone come lend us a hand. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to. Why must I torture myself with this shit? Why? Am I gonna have to detail 1,000 fucking rocks like this? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What have I gotten myself into? Please, 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 guys, somebody please come help me. No text messages right now. I'm trying to fucking focus on the fucking rocks. I got rocks, I got rocks, I got rocks in my crux. 1,000 little rocks. Kick it. I mean, this is what y'all want to see, right? You just want to see me torture myself? I get it. Yeah. I get it.
Who texted me? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for hanging out today. I'm AJ. Here's Hecklefish.
Remember what they say, humans? A tin-foil hat in your head keeps the blood.
Developer of the game,
through every administration, I've known these presidents, I've known their teams. Nothing changed much from Clinton to Bush to Obama to Trump 1 to Biden. Maybe they got worse step by step. Biden was the worst in my view. Maybe also because he was not compos mentis for the last couple of years. And I say that seriously, not as a snarky remark. The American political system is a system of image. It's a system of media manipulation every day. It is a PR system. And so you could have a president that basically doesn't function and have that in power for 2 years and actually have that president run for re-election. And one damn thing is he had to stand on a stage for 90 minutes by himself. And that was the end of it. Had it not been that mistake, he would have gone on to have his candidacy, whether he was sleeping after 4 p.m. in the afternoon or not. So this is actually the reality. Everybody goes along with it. It's impolite to say anything that I'm saying because we don't speak the truth about almost anything in this world right now. So these are projects. These are long-term events. These aren't, is it Clinton? Is it Bush? Is it Obama? That's the boring way to look at American politics, as the day-to-day game, but that's not what American politics is. So the next round of NATO enlargement came in 2004 with 7 more countries, the 3 Baltic states, Romania, Bulgaria, Slovenia, and Slovakia. At this point, Russia was pretty damn upset. This was a complete violation of the post-war order agreed with German reunification. Essentially, it was a fundamental trick or defection of the US from a cooperative arrangement, is what it amounted to, because they believe in unipolarity. So the decision was taken in 1994 to expand NATO all the way to Ukraine. This is a project. This is not one administration or another. This is a US government project that started more than 30 years ago. The idea was that there would be Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, and Georgia as the Black Sea littoral that would deprive Russia of any international status by blocking the Black Sea and essentially by neutralizing Russia as more than a local power. Brzezinski's completely clear about this. And before Brzezinski, there was Mackinder. And who owns the island of the world owns the world. So this project goes back a long time. I think it goes back basically to Palmerston. So this project began, and we had a continuity of government for 30 years until maybe yesterday, perhaps. 30 years of a project. Ukraine and Georgia were the keys to the project. Why? Because America learned everything it knows from the British. And so we are the wannabe British Empire. And what the British Empire understood in 1853, Lord Palmerston, excuse me, is that you surround Russia in the Black Sea and you deny Russia access to the Eastern Mediterranean. And all you're watching is an American project to do that in the 21st century. In 1997, Zbigniew Brzezinski wrote The Grand Chessboard. That is not just musings of Mr. Brzezinski. That is the presentation of the decisions of the United States government explained to the public, which is how these books work. And the book describes the eastward enlargement of Europe and of NATO as simultaneous events. And there's a good chapter in that book that says, what will Russia do as Europe and NATO expand eastward? And I knew Zbigniew Brzezinski personally. He was very nice to me. I was advising Poland. He was a big help. He was a very nice and smart man, and he got everything wrong. So in 97, he wrote in detail why Russia could do nothing but accede to the eastward expansion of NATO and Europe. In fact, he says the eastward expansion of Europe, and not just Europe, but NATO. This was a plan, a project. And he explains how Russia will never align with China. Unthinkable. Russia will never align with Iran. Russia has no vocation other than the European vocation. So as Europe moves east, there's nothing Russia can do about it. So says yet another American strategist. Is it any question why we're in war all the time? Because one thing about America is we always know what our counterparts are going to do, and we always get it wrong. And one reason we always get it wrong is that in game theory that the American strategists play, you don't actually talk to the other side. You just know what the other side's strategy is. It's wonderful. It saves so much time. You don't need any diplomacy. In 2008, as everybody knows, our former CIA director, William Burns, sent a long message back to Condoleezza Rice. Niet means niet, about expansion. This we know from Julian Assange, because believe me, not one word is told to the American people about anything, or to you, or by any of your newspapers these days. So we have Julian Assange to thank, but we can read the memo in detail. As you know, Viktor Yanukovych was elected in 2010 on the platform of neutrality. Russia had no territorial interests or designs in Ukraine at all. I know. I was there during these years. What Russia was negotiating was a 25-year lease to 2042 for Sevastopol Naval Base. That's it. Not for Crimea, not for the Donbass, nothing like that. So as everybody recalls, because we just had the Munich Security Conference last week in 2007, President Putin said, stop, enough, stop now. And of course, what that meant was in 2008, the United States jammed down Europe's throat enlargement of NATO to Ukraine and to Georgia. This is a long-term project. I listened to Mr. Saakashvili in New York in May of 2008, and I walked out, called Sonia and said, this man's crazy. And a month later, a war broke out because the United States told this guy, we saved Georgia. And he stands at the Council on Foreign Relations, says, Georgia's in the center of Europe. Well, it ain't, ladies and gentlemen. It's not in the center of Europe. And the most recent events are not helpful for Georgia, for its safety, and your MPs going there, your MEPs going there, and European politicians. That gets Georgia destroyed. That doesn't save Georgia. That gets Georgia destroyed, completely destroyed. So I had a long and frustrating phone call with Sullivan. I was standing out in the freezing cold. I happened to be trying to have a ski day. And there I was, Jake, don't have the war. Oh, there'll be no war, Jeff. We know a lot of what happened the next month, which is that they refused to negotiate. The stupidest idea of NATO is the so-called open door policy. Are you kidding? NATO reserves the right to go where it wants without any neighbor having any say whatsoever. Well, I tell the Mexicans and the Canadians, don't try it. You know, Trump may want to take over Canada. So Canada could say to China, why don't you build a military base in Ontario? I wouldn't advise it. And the United States would not say, well, it's an open door. That's their business. I mean, they can do what they want. That's not our business. But grown-ups in Europe, repeat this. In Europe, in your commission, your high representative, this is nonsense stuff. This is not even baby geopolitics. This is just not thinking at all. I'm telling you, if I can give you my honest view, they're not very bright people. And I dealt with them for more than 40 years. They talk to themselves. They don't talk to anybody else. They play game theory. In non-cooperative game theory, you don't talk to the other side. You just make your strategy. This is the essence of game theory. It's not negotiation theory. It's not peacemaking theory. It is unilateral, non-cooperative theory, if you know formal game theory. That's what they play. It started at the Rand Corporation. That's what they still play. In 2019, there's a paper by Rand, How Do We Extend Russia? You know, they wrote a paper, which Biden followed. How do we annoy Russia? That's literally the strategy. How do we annoy Russia? We're trying to provoke it, trying to make it break apart, maybe have regime change, maybe have unrest, maybe have economic crisis. That's what you call your ally. Are you kidding? On the Middle East, by the way, the U.S. completely handed over foreign policy to Netanyahu 30 years ago. The Israel lobby dominates American politics. Just
this when I be thinking, like, am I wrong? Has Yahoo had motherfucking a solidified fist hold for a long, like since I've been in fucking high school. Since I've been in high school, goddamn Netanyahu has been over there thumping around causing this fucking genocide for 30 fucking years. And he was put in power by America. CIA assets, man, all these, America, that's why they don't like this Trump administration. Like he even said, all these administrations have been horrible, even Trump won. And he didn't say why Trump won was horrible, but he didn't say this administration is horrible. So obviously the learning curve then kicked in. We didn't got our fucking hazing. Now we understand. We understand this monster a little bit better. But it's everywhere. People think this shit just the US. This shit everywhere. It's a global oligarchy. And after the dismantling of the Soviet Union, I really think Russia was fine with that. Not fine with it, but it's just like, hey, the world is changing. You don't want a whole blockade of nations like that. Like I say, before, when the other dude was the president of fucking Ukraine, was Putin trying to take that shit over? No. The motherfucker don't even worry about that shit. All right, I still gotta take a bathroom break. I ain't even had coffee this morning. Just had a little bit of water, but I gotta go. Gotta go. Be right back.
No doubt about it. I could explain for hours how it works. It's very dangerous. Europe has gone silent about the JCPOA and Iran. Netanyahu's greatest dream in life is a war between the United States and Iran. He's not given up, and it's not impossible that would come also. And that's because the U.S. in this regard does not have an independent foreign policy. It is run by Israel. It's tragic. It's amazing, by the way. And it could end. Trump may say that he wants foreign policy back. Maybe. I'm hoping that it's the case. I'm hoping that Trump will not destroy his administration and worse, the Palestinian people, because of Netanyahu, who I regard as a war criminal, properly indicted by the ICC, and that needs to be told no more, that there will be a state of Palestine on the borders of the 4th of June, 1967, according to international law, as the only way for peace. It's the only way for Europe to have peace on your borders with the Middle East, is the two-state solution. There is only one obstacle to it, by the way, and that is the veto of the United States in the UN Security Council. So if you want to have some influence, tell the United States, drop the veto. You are together with 180 countries in the world. The only ones that oppose a Palestinian state are the United States, Israel, Micronesia, Nauru, Palau, Papua New Guinea, Mr. Malay, and Paraguay. So this is a place where Europe could have a big influence.
How you doing? I'm coming to you with a hot, juicy, sensual message on behalf of Rose Sparks. Rose Sparks is a prescription treatment that could be the answer. I've heard from a friend of a friend who's struggling to get hard. Ro works in 15 minutes for an erection your partner will never forget. Picture yourself poolside. Rose Sparks are individual package.
Rose Sparks. Okay.
This idea of reconstructing the Russian Empire, this is childish propaganda. Excuse me.
Okay. So this is all I'm saying. Netanyahu And Putin been in power about the same time. But Netanyahu is constantly committing genocide, killing all these motherfuckers. And Putin just seemed like he reactionary in this last couple of years.
If anyone knows the day-to-day and year-to-year history, this is childish stuff. Childish stuff seems to work better than adult stuff. So no designs at all. The United States decided this man must be overthrown. It's called a regime change operation. There have been about 100 of them by the United States, many in your countries and many all over the world. That's what the CIA does for a living. Okay? Please know it. It's a very unusual kind of foreign policy. Well, we're facing Munich 1938. Well, we're facing Munich 1938. Can't talk to the other side. They're evil, implacable foes. That's the only model of foreign policy we ever hear from our mass media. And the mass media repeats it entirely because it's completely suborned by the US government. But in America, if you don't like the other side, you don't negotiate with them, you try to overthrow them, preferably covertly. If it doesn't work covertly, you do it overtly. You always say it's not our fault. They're the aggressor. They're the other side. They're Hitler. That comes up every 2 or 3 years. Whether it's Saddam Hussein, whether it's Assad, whether it's Putin, that's very convenient. That's the only foreign policy explanation the American people are ever given anywhere. Now, when the Maidan occurred, I was called immediately. Oh, Professor Sachs, the new Ukrainian prime minister would like to see you to talk about the economic crisis, because I'm pretty good at that. And so I flew to Kiev and I was walked around the Maidan and I was told how the US paid the money for all the people around the Maidan. Spontaneous revolution of dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, please, where do all these media outlets come from? Where does all this organization come from? Where do all these buses come from? Where do all these people called in come from? Are you kidding? This is organized effort. And it's not a secret, except to citizens of Europe and the United States. Everyone else understands it quite clearly. Now, in 2014, the US worked actively to overthrow Yanukovych. Everybody knows the phone call intercepted by my Columbia University colleague, Victoria Nuland, and the US Ambassador, Peter Piot. You don't get better evidence. The Russians intercepted her call and they put it on the internet. Listen to it, it's fascinating. I know all these people. By the way, by doing that, they all got promoted in the Biden administration. That's the job. Then came Minsk, and especially Minsk II, which, by the way, was modeled on South Tyrolean autonomy. And the Belgians could have related to Minsk II very well. It said there should be autonomy for the Russian-speaking regions in the east of Ukraine. It was supported unanimously by the UN Security Council. Trump won, raised the armaments. There were many thousands of deaths in the shelling by Ukraine in the Donbass. There was no Minsk II agreement. And then Biden came into office. And again, I know all these people. I used to be a member of the Democratic Party. I now am strictly sworn to be a member of no party, because both are the same anyway, and because this is, the Democrats became complete wars over time, and there was not one voice about peace, just like most of your parliamentarians, the same way. The United States and Ukraine decided it was not to be enforced. Germany and France, which were the guarantors of the Normandy process, let it go.
Oh my God!
And
This
it
is
was
why is this so hard for me to do
absolutely
right now?
another direct American
All right, enjoy your
unipolar
dinner.
action with Europe as usual, playing completely useless subsidiary role, even though it was a guarantor of the agreement. So at the end of 1991, Putin put on the table a last effort in two security agreement drafts, one with you.
Oh. Yo, sorry for the extremely glitchy ass stream for the past couple of days. I am seriously thinking about a new camera or something else so we don't have these issues while we're in the studio. But at the same time, not gonna lie, um, man, all of my other passions are just burning up right now. So, I mean, art is my main number one go to because sometimes I can actually make money from doing this. But everybody who knows me knows still, like, I love writing music and I love playing video games still. Even in my old age, still really enjoy video games. And this Star Wars video game is just so much fun. I need to go play that shit. And I just finished writing that song and I want to get that typed up and put into Suno today as well. So I think I'm gonna man, I'm gonna sacrifice some studio time today so I can go play video games and do music. I don't know which one I'm gonna do first. If I'm gonna play some video games first and then try to type this song up and get that ready, or yeah, I think I'll do that because if I start fucking with that music first, I might not get to the video games. I was up. I was up early. I'm on a weird thing right now. I might have to take me a little nap later to reset because I broke my sleep for so many hours in the middle of the night, which isn't a bad thing, but I do feel like kind of sleepy right now. And it's not that I just broke my sleep and stayed up for a couple hours. It was just I was smoking too. It's just like, damn, I got up super early, started smoking, and went back to sleep. I was like, We did get some of this gravel detailed in here. I was talking about, oh, closer up front, it'll be less and this and that. Man, this shit gonna be just as tedious because I wanted to have some really good, nice contrast on here. Once again, the technical part is something I'll be trying to get to a lot more. So, like I say, even if you're not really sure about the content of the art or what the piece is trying to express, at least you can admire the technical aspect. And so I even want like the smallest details to look nice. Once again, not super photorealistic, but it is hyper realistic, not photorealistic. I guess I don't know. I don't know the difference. But I want my shit to look real. I want my details to be nice. And so we'll take our time and make sure that each one of these little pebbles has a little bit of texture and a little bit of contrast. So you can see that the light isn't hitting all of them exactly the same, and they do all have their own shape, and that they're not just a bunch of random similar patterns that I didn't think about. What was that? Screen time? All right. Let me see if I can highlight this little section. Then we might try to hop up out of here. They're mostly, the light is still mostly coming from like this. Mm. Mm. All right. I mean, this shit looking hella good, if you ask me. It's just, that's just my opinion. That's just my little opinion, though. If I do take that nap, I will enjoy it. I'm telling you now. A little, little quick power nap. Maybe like the 40 minutes, an hour or something like that. A little hour nap. See, look at that. Soon as damn. As soon as I start talking about a nap, the motherfuckers start yarning. You trying to tell me something. I can't talk about being sleepy without feeling sleepy. I might have to do a time lapse of some of this, just to show people, hey, your boy be in here Your boy be in here doing the damn thing. With that knife, look at that. Boy, look how I take that. You see just curve down like that, man. That knife. Boy, that knife gonna make it look like something. I'm telling you now. I don't think I put enough paint on there. Something like that. So we got a little area filled there right there. You know, a little couple square inches. A little few square inches. Not too much. Let me go work on this song. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes typing this shit up and like inputting everything into the AI, that shit be making me sleepy. I ain't gonna lie. I might fall asleep doing that. Wake up, play the game for a little minute, and then cook some simple ass meals for meal prep this week. Do a little simple meal prep this week. I sure appreciate y'all. Fine, beautiful people always kicking it with me in the studio, keeping me company and keeping me motivated and inspired on our collective and individual artistic journeys and endeavors. Y'all all right with me? I ain't gonna lie. Y'all is all right with me. And I don't know if I could do it without you. And that's the damn God honest truth. I don't think I can do it without you. It's giving me rocks feelings, you know, it's giving me concrete, asphalt. Let's see what it looked like if we back away a little bit. Man, look, that thing don't look hey, that don't look too bad now, you know. Check them out. That little gravel starting to come in. Okay, I see you, Trap. I see you, Trap House over there with your little brushes and your little palette knives and shit. That little shadow right there look nice. I like that. I like that little part. I like this little shadow right here. It's looking good. You know? Yo, appreciate it, Omizu. Yeah, them little rocks, man. Hey, we already know, like you said, it's gonna be something. Cause God Almighty, I mean, I'm trying my hardest, bro. I am. You know, I ain't gonna be able to paint every last one of them, but good googly moogly. Like that piece of paper right there, bro. I'm not painting that. That and see, they're little. When you do this, you can't see it. You can't see it at all. When you zoom in close enough, they like a little teeny bit of moss, and just like growing in between some of the rocks here and there. I might try to, you know, that's why I grab a little bit of green. I might add some of that in there. But yeah, good googly boogly. Look at that. We're gonna dumb it down as much as we can and still make it look as close to that as we can get it. We're gonna dumb it down as much as we can and still try to get as much as we can at the same time. Cause that's a lot. That's a lot, you know. I ain't even making it up. I ain't pretending or nothing. You know. Ooh, throw some Easter eggs in there. Man, that down them rocks might spell out 9/11 is an inside job. I ain't lying. Somebody might have to look close at the gravel. You're gonna have to look close at the gravel, man. They might be something in there. Bye, guys. Thank you so much again. I hope y'all guys have a good day. When I hop on some video games, I'll probably stream that. Excuse me. Jeez. Because that Star Wars game is really fun. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.